Join the conversation. Follow Jason on Twitter. And don't forget to visit the live show fan page on Facebook.
All right, the next question is from Martin. He asks, some say that Medicare and Medicaid are the most successful government programs ever. How should we respond?
Guy, I just saw this. Somebody sent me a note, said I needed to go debate Sam Sager? That I needed to debate him because Steve Kerbell was on his show and Sam kept coming back talking about how Medicare and Medicaid were proof that the government in their benevolence was doing all of these great things for people. And I suppose if Sam wanted me on his show, he could call me up and I'd be happy to go on and chat with him, but I'm not going to call him up and tell him I want to debate him. I have no desire to do that. But I'll defend the libertarian honor. But here's the funny thing. If you're measuring Medicare and Medicaid, again, by the measuring stick of how many people are in the program, then yes, it's a massive success. They've got millions and millions of people who are benefiting from reduced cost through Medicare and Medicaid. So that is the measuring stick that progressives always use to determine whether something is successful or not. Like it doesn't matter whether it's profitable or whether it's actually achieving the goals that it set out to achieve. The only thing that they're concerned about is, well, we got a lot of people on the program. Same thing with welfare, food stamp programs. One of the things I saw a long time ago, we got 40 million people right now who are eligible for food stamps who don't take it or something like that. I can't remember what the number was, but let's say it was 40 million. That are eligible for food stamps but who aren't taking advantage of it. And the government is actually trying to figure out why they're not taking it. They're trying to eliminate the stigma of food stamps so that more people will come and get on the government dole and start taking a handout. Now, this shouldn't surprise you if you listen to this show that that's what they want to do, but let me try in the private sector and illustrate what progressives do when it comes to Medicare and Medicaid. So let's say I opened up a pizza shop and I made the same quality pizza as all the other shops in town. Let's say I even put out a higher quality product than everybody else. My pies were the best in town and I charged half of what every other pizza shop in town charged. And because I offered such a great discount relative to the rest of the market or relative to what other people would have to pay if they didn't come to me, my store was always full. My restaurant was packed. There's people waiting out the door for my pizza. I can't fill it up. I'm just taking money right and left. And on the surface, it looks like I'm wildly profitable. Now, if a progressive looked at my shop, they'd say, man, he's pretty successful. Look at all the people he's got coming to his pizza shop. The problem is, in order to offer the rates as low as I'm offering them, in order to sell my pizza as cheaply as I do, I have to borrow money every single month in order to pay my overhead. Now, let me ask you a question. Does that sound like a successful business to you? No. And the fact of the matter is, Medicare and Medicaid are constantly spending more money than they allocate. They're constantly having to increase their budgets in order to meet the demand. They account for healthcare as a whole. I think Medicare and Medicaid, I think, account for like 25% of the total budget. And they can forecast this out. If they don't do something about Medicare and Medicaid, it's going to eat up something like 60% of the budget over the next 50 years. Can you imagine? That's before national defense. That's before education and any of the other stuff that the government spends money on. Just Medicare and Medicaid is going to equal 2/3 of the entire budget. That's before Social Security. It's unsustainable. It cannot be sustained. The growth is going to become astronomical. The only way your Medicare or Medicaid is ever going to be a solvent program that can be paid for is if everybody starts paying 80-90% in taxes. And even then, I'd have to run the numbers to see if it was possible. It is not a successful program. It loses money and continues to bloat the budget every single year.